It began with a sound. Not thunder, not rain. Something heavier. At 9:59 p.m. on the night of September 30th, 2025, the island of Cebu, Philippines, was hurled into chaos. A magnitude 6.9 earthquake, shallow and merciless, struck off the coast near Bogo City. In seconds, the earth roared, the sea heaved, and tens of thousands of lives were changed forever. Yaba, yaba, yaba. The quake was shallow, just 10 kilometers deep, and that made it far more destructive. Buildings did not merely sway, they cracked, buckled, and toppled without warning. Families had almost no time to react. Inside Cebu City, ceilings split wide open. Entire districts lost power in an instant. Bridges twisted like rope. Main roads fractured down the middle, cutting neighborhoods apart. In the northern towns of Medellin, San Remigio, and Tabogon, centuries-old houses folded like paper, burying families beneath wreckage that had stood for generations. Hospitals were flooded with casualties within minutes. Staff rushed patients into parking lots as fresh aftershocks struck. 4 significant aftershocks followed before dawn, one reaching magnitude 6. Each one sent new waves of panic as survivors clung to the ground, convinced the island itself was being ripped apart. What's that? By sunrise, the scale of devastation became clear. At least 72 people were dead, another 294 were injured, and more than 20,000 were displaced, their homes reduced to ruins. Across northern Cebu, 87 public and commercial buildings lay damaged or destroyed. Nearly 600 houses were obliterated. For thousands, everything they owned, clothes, photos, heirlooms, was now buried in shattered concrete. Rescue teams clawed desperately through debris by hand, dragging survivors from collapsed homes and recovering bodies from pancake structures. All through the night, faint cries echoed from beneath broken concrete, haunting those who dug in the darkness. One of the greatest cultural tragedies unfolded in Bantayan, where the archdiocesan shrine of Santa Rosa de Lima, a 400-year-old church, lost nearly 80% of its structure. Its fractured bell tower and collapsed walls stood as a symbol of how history itself had been torn apart. For a terrifying hour, Cebu faced a second nightmare. Authorities issued a tsunami warning and ordered mass evacuations along coastal towns. Families clutched children and sprinted inland as alarms pierced the night. "We thought the sea was coming for us," one resident said. "Everyone was running, screaming, holding on to their kids." Only later did officials cancel the alert, sparing the island from a second disaster. But the fear it unleashed left scars of its own. Witnesses described the earthquake's first jolt as an underground explosion. Walls cracked, roofs caved in, and in some places entire floors collapsed into basements. In San Remigio, rescuers pulled rubble off what had once been a two-story home, finding 3 generations of one family crushed together. Hospitals descended into chaos. Surgeons stitched wounds by flashlight. Nurses illuminated patients with the glow of cell phones. Outside, thousands huddled in open fields, gymnasiums, and stadiums, too afraid to return inside, fearing the next tremor would bring buildings down for good. Experts quickly explained why the quake proved so catastrophic. Its shallow depth and direct strike near dense population centers amplified destruction. Cebu lies within the Pacific Ring of Fire, where tectonic plates grind endlessly, storing energy for years before releasing it in violent bursts. This was one of those bursts, the deadliest earthquake in the Philippines since 2013. Time of day added to the tragedy, striking at night when families were inside their homes. The quake left many trapped in bedrooms and living rooms with almost no chance of escape. Numbers told one story, survivors told another. Officials estimated that 170,000 people across 42 communities would require long-term aid to rebuild their lives. Schools, hospitals, and churches lay in ruins. Shops and small businesses, lifelines of local economies, were gone in seconds and might take years to return. On October 1st, rescue teams from across the Philippines flooded into Cebu. Soldiers cleared debris from main roads. Volunteers handed out bottled water, bread, and blankets. The government pledged billions of pesos in recovery funds, but many survivors knew no amount of money could replace what was gone. From the air, drone footage revealed neighborhoods scarred with collapsed roofs, split highways, and darkened towns without electricity. Lines of evacuees stretched for kilometers toward makeshift camps. In Cebu City, churches without steeples and schools without classrooms became monuments to what had been stolen overnight. The 2025 Cebu earthquake was not just a disaster, it was a warning. A reminder that the Ring of Fire never rests and that devastation can strike in the dead of night when the world is most vulnerable. Was splash, yeah? Cebu will rebuild. It always has. But for the families who lost everything, for communities scarred by grief, September 30th, 2025, will forever remain the night when the ground itself turned against them. was flash here. You have a minute steering, I'm reading you.